My parents left me hungry and alone at 13. When my uncle died, they demanded millions, but the lawyer's secret clause left them with nothing. I was 13 when my parents decided they were done being parents. They didn't sit me down and explain anything. They just stopped coming home most nights. My mom got really into this new boyfriend who lived 2 towns over. My dad was always at the bar or crashing at his friend's apartment. They'd show up every few days to grab clothes or check the mail, but that was it. The fridge was always empty. I learned real quick how to make ramen last 3 meals and how to steal granola bars from the school cafeteria without anyone noticing. My teachers never asked why I wore the same hoodie 4 days in a row or why I always looked so tired. The only person who noticed was my Uncle Dave. He was my dad's younger brother, never got married, worked as an accountant downtown. He started showing up at our house every Sunday with groceries. He'd cook me actual meals, check my homework, make sure I had clean clothes for school. He never said anything bad about my parents, just quietly took care of me when they wouldn't. This went on for 3 years, 3 whole years of Uncle Dave being more of a parent than my actual parents. When I turned 16, he helped me get my driver's license, paid for the classes himself, bought me a used Honda so I could get to school, and my part-time job at the grocery store. My parents didn't even know I had a car. Uncle Dave made me promise to focus on college. He said education was the only way out of the life my parents were living. I got into state school with decent financial aid, and Uncle Dave covered the rest. My parents didn't contribute a single dollar, didn't even congratulate me when I got my acceptance letter. I was halfway through my sophomore year when Uncle Dave had a massive heart attack at his office. He was only 52. I got the call from the hospital, but by the time I drove there, he was already gone. I cried in that hospital waiting room for hours. The only parent I'd ever really had was just gone. The funeral was small. Some people from his office, a few neighbors, and me. My parents showed up late wearing wrinkled clothes and reeking of cigarettes. They didn't cry, didn't say anything nice about Uncle Dave, just sat in the back row checking their phones the whole time. 2 days after the funeral, I got a call from Uncle Dave's lawyer, Mr. Patterson. He asked me to come to his office for the reading of the will. I figured Uncle Dave maybe left me a few $1,000s to help with school. When I walked into that conference room, my parents were already sitting there. First time I'd seen them in almost a year, and they were dressed up nice for once. My mom was wearing makeup. My dad had on an actual button-down shirt. Mr. Patterson sat down with his thick folder and started reading. Uncle Dave's estate was worth $3.2 million. Turns out he'd been investing smart his whole life and owned 3 rental properties I never knew about. My parents literally started smiling. I could see my mom squeezing my dad's hand under the table. Mr. Patterson kept reading. To my brother and sister-in-law, I leave nothing. You abandoned your daughter when she needed you most. You do not deserve to benefit from my hard work. The smiles disappeared instantly. My dad stood up angry, saying this was garbage and that blood is blood. Mr. Patterson held up his hand and kept going. To my niece Sarah, I leave my entire estate with one condition. She must graduate from college with at least a 3.0 GPA. If she fails to do so, the money will be donated to the Children's Advocacy Center. My parents lost it. My mom started screaming about how Uncle Dave had no right to cut them out. My dad was threatening to sue. Mr. Patterson just calmly explained that the will was completely legal and ironclad. Uncle Dave had updated it every year for the past 5 years, documenting every time my parents neglected me, every grocery run he made, every bill he paid, every school event they missed. He had records of everything. Then Mr. Patterson pulled out a sealed letter Uncle Dave had written specifically for my parents. He handed it to my dad, who ripped it open. I watched his face turn red as he read it out loud. You had one job, take care of your kid. You couldn't even do that. I did it instead, and I did it happily. Sarah is the best thing either of you ever created, and you threw her away. This money represents years of hard work and sacrifice. Sarah deserves it because she worked hard despite having parents who gave up on her. You deserve nothing because you are nothing. My mom tried grabbing the letter, but my dad crumpled it up and threw it across the room. They both stormed out yelling about lawyers and lawsuits. Mr. Patterson looked at me and said, your uncle spent 5 years making sure this was bulletproof. He knew they'd come crawling out eventually. He knew they'd want money they never earned. I graduated last year with a 3.4 GPA, got my degree in social work because I want to help kids like me, kids whose parents check out but who still have a chance. The money is sitting in a trust fund. I use some for living expenses, but most of it is staying invested just like Uncle Dave would have wanted. My parents tried contacting me exactly once after the will reading, asked if we could work out a deal where I'd give them some money. I blocked both their numbers. Uncle Dave taught me that family isn't about blood, it's about who shows up when you need them most.